We're going to be talking about social um, and post-build and growth and how that looks in practice. So Lucy, starting with you, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm 22, social media manager for Hair Syrup. We are now the fastest growing beauty company in the whole of the UK.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm the founder of Embrace Beauty. It is a UK-made skincare brand. We're quite new still. We're not even a year old yet, so it is just me. So yeah.
Oh, amazing. So Lauren, I'm going to start with you. Personal branding as a founder is powerful, can be exhausting. How do you manage the balance between being the face of the brand and running the business?
Yeah, so I feel like obviously personal branding is definitely a huge thing at the minute. Obviously, there's a lot of founder led content out there, and I feel like it's great because people obviously do want to connect. Like I said, obviously, I have just started this business, so you can imagine I have to do everything obviously, packaging, all the design, photography. So, doing the social media and like showing up as well can be overwhelming, but obviously Embrace did kind of start from my own skin journey. I suffered with acne. I've had like low self-esteem, so I did build it in uni, and it was kind of fighting against AI filters, like manipulating people's faces and kind of creating like one beauty ideal. But obviously, like I said, when you're running the business as well, it can be very overwhelming. So I think something that's good is obviously just setting boundaries. I obviously seen that trend on TikTok about being a type A and a type B person. And I would definitely say I was very unorganized, but now having my own business, I do have to be like a type A. And I think that's what's really helped setting, obviously running the business and showing up as like the face of it, just planning, doing, obviously being really good with your schedules, kind of implementing structures and stuff to make sure you don't get overwhelmed and burnt out. So yeah.
I love all these brands being built out of uni.
Yeah.
Like I was not doing that. Lucy, so I mean, I've seen hair syrup all over TikTok. I've seen you all over my TikTok. So it was built on social before it was built anywhere else. What does the content strategy look like day to day?
Well, Hair Syrup started very similar to the way that you started. So at the very beginning of Hair Syrup, my founder is also called Lucy, so we have the same name. The content started with her posting about her own hair transformation journey and basically flourished into Hair Syrup then. Fast forward to about 2 years ago, which is when I joined the company. The strategy then was to post educational content about the products, how to use them, that kind of thing. But when I joined, things sort of changed because I said to my boss, we have the same name. That is so iconic. So since then, this whole strategy has pretty much changed to what Lucy and I do in a day and what it's like for two best friends in their 20s to try and live a completely normal life whilst building a multi-million-pound business. Because if you met us on the weekend, you would not believe what we do in a regular week. So people love and they really connect with the fact that we are very normal people. And if you meet us in real life, that's what you see. So our content is so authentic, but we don't actually have a strategy, which is probably surprising. But social media changes so quickly. What works one day will not work the next day. So you cannot think, oh, I'm going to post this tomorrow, because you wake up in the morning, everything's changed. So you need to be really open-minded. And one of the things that we mainly do is connect with our community. That's like really important to us. So every single day we're replying to comments like they're our friends, DMs, everything, because people buy from people. So you need to,
Yeah,
look
when you
after
post
those
so much, you
relationships.
have to adapt. Don't
I know,
you?
we do post a lot.
Lauren, so your audience trusts you because you're real about your skin. How do you keep that authenticity as the brand grows and the pressure to be more polished increases?
Yeah, so I feel like because obviously the whole point and like the values of the brand did stem from my own like skin issues and obviously self-esteem. Like I want to keep that throughout the business forever. Like obviously I don't want to lose that when we do grow, and obviously there is that pressure to be more polished. I think I obviously started as a photographer, so I worked for the Hook Group, so shot for like big brands like Look Fantastic and stuff. And you do see how like a lot of like the end results in campaigns are quite heavily manipulated. And that is where a lot of people do feel the pressure to like, why does my skin not look as clear as all of like these final images and stuff? So I feel like with my brand, I don't want to feel that pressure to go into that, because the whole point of it is to change that narrative of like what your skin's supposed to look like, and you know, the results that these obviously ingredients and like the products give. I've always said that I'd rather embrace grow slower and stay authentic rather than grow quickly and obviously like go viral, but doesn't really align with the reason why the whole brand started in the first place. I feel like trust comes from being consistent and transparent, and that's what how we've grown our followers so far. So I feel like if we started to change and just become quite similar to all the other brands, we'd lose that trust with our followers.
Yeah, people do see through it, can't they?
Yeah.
And I love it when a brand's made about someone's own issues, because it definitely shows. Lucy, so how do you measure whether a piece of content actually drove revenue versus engagement?
I mean, obviously on platforms like TikTok and Instagram, you can go into the back end and see how your content's performing. But to be honest, we actually don't pay too much attention to it, because even like views and engagement, for us, it's sort of the same, because we will be on your For You page so much that then I think, okay, they're going to go into Boots, they're going to see hair syrup, and they're going to say, oh my God, that's that hair oil that I've seen all over my For You page. I'm going to get it. So we don't really measure it, because to us, views are just as important as revenue from videos. But utilizing TikTok Shop Lives is great, because you can see that happening right in front of your eyes. So we go on live every day. So yeah.
Amazing. And Lauren, so Lucy's obviously just mentioned how they don't really have a strategy and it's very reactive. So what does your content creation process look like? Is it planned? Is it reactive?
I'd say it's a bit of both. I can imagine, obviously, our industry, the beauty industry, you do have to post a lot. Like, I think if you don't post, you'll just get lost, because there is so many brands out there now in the beauty industry. I feel like for me personally, because it is just me, so obviously it's a lot of pressure, and I do obviously have another job as well. So it's a lot. So I do a bit of both. So I'll obviously have a content plan. I'll have content pillars and topics that I will want to talk about throughout the month. And I'll try and make all of them and schedule them. But again, so reactive as well. I feel like usually the most reactive posts actually do the best.
Yeah.
But as well, again, like what you said, social media is frustrating in the sense of it does change every day. I've had things that have worked so well, and then you try and implement that again and it absolutely flops, and it's just, but again as well, like you said, it's like listening as well to what like your customers and like, you know, people on the comments on your videos, seeing what they like and stuff, and I feel like you can kind of make content through that. I know when I post anything about like the before and afters of my skin, it's so real and it's so vulnerable that does resonate the best with our audience over something that's a bit more like polished, like a really nice aesthetic video. And that's how we generate the most sales, by being real. But again, that could change in a few months. So it is just kind of like keeping your eye out on what's working and what's not.
And you've just mentioned about being real and like posting your struggles. So for any founders in the room who are too nervous to put their face on camera, what would you tell them?
I would say always start before you feel ready, because I mean, you know, people feel like you have to be confident to post online, but I do genuinely believe like your confidence comes after. I think as soon as you hit that post button, you'll start to grow so much more and you'll start to learn what's working and what's not. Obviously, it is scary, you know, putting yourself out there and building a business, but obviously it's not supposed to be easy. It is a hard journey, but like I said, that is where a lot of the growth does come from. So yeah, I would just say click the post button. It is scary, but as soon as you do it, it isn't actually as scary. And you know what? The support that you get from strangers online is actually crazy. Like, I don't know if you feel it, but like, I've got some really supportive friends and family, but some strangers like actually root for you. Like, you almost create like a fan base, but they really root for you. So you will build such a great community as well from people that you don't even know, and that does start from when you click the post button. So.
And Lucy, what is the biggest mistake brands make on social right now?
Oh my God, I could talk about this all day. It's very random what I'm about to say, but the worst thing somebody can do on social media is copy someone else, which sounds like such a weird thing to say, because you're like, how do you come up with ideas? But my advice, you need to be so yourself that nobody can copy you. So our content, like, people can copy the products, they make more hair oils, but they will never be able to copy the content, because you can't copy someone else's personality. And if you try to, it is so draining, because people always ask me, how can you post over 20 times a day? And I'm just like, it's not tiring. It doesn't feel like I'm posting, because I'm just being myself. Whereas if I was trying to keep up with someone, I'd feel like I was chasing my own tail. It would be really draining. So if you want to be the best, you cannot copy other people.
And following on from that question for both of you, best piece of content you ever posted and why did it work?
God. I don't know if any of you saw my Boss's Dragon's Den episode, but if you did, probably the content after that, basically Lucy got 6 no's in the Dragon's Den, so we decided that because they trolled her on TV, I was going to troll them on TikTok. And obviously, after some trouble, we had 22 million views in 24 hours. So I did really well. No regrets.
Lauren?
No, I was going to say I loved those, by the way. Like,
Oh yeah, I
iconic.
also saw you got stuck in snowed in at Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Well,
they
I
were
followed that
amazing
as well.
as well.
What was that? I couldn't get to work for like 4 days, and I was really stuck, actually.
Swings and roundabouts.
I did get to the Christmas party, though.
Oh,
so that was
that's
good.
fine. No, I was going to say any of mine that have performed the best would always be the vulnerable, real ones. I think it's obviously, like I said, it's really scary to be authentic. And even like you just said about like copying, but it is so true. When you try and copy someone, I do think your views don't work and your engagement's not good, because obviously you're not being yourself. But anything that I posted that is super vulnerable, like obviously showing my skin when I had acne, it was horrible, but it resonates with so many people that are too scared to show the skin, but and obviously go through the same struggles, and those ones always do perform the best, because like you said, they're where you're being your true self.
Yeah, so I think be authentic and reactive, which a lot of people in the room probably aren't used to, because we're so used to pre-planning everything. Thank you guys so much.
Oh,
Thank you.